And we are live. How's it going, everybody?
We were barely alive. This is my second cup of coffee from the day.
That doesn't sound good. Well, I made it. I'm in Honduras now.
That was one of the first things I put on Facebook the other night. The third time's a charm. The first I had in Houston. The second time, Jonathan's date on his passport had run out, and so they had cancel the flight and then drive to Colorado. And so they finally came in yesterday.
Yep.
Got here yesterday, so we put them to work today. We've been picking coffee for about, this is the second week. Sorry, I got hiccups. This is the second week. Should be done by Friday unless something happens. And then there's still 2 more pickings throughout the year. We'll wait 2 or 3 weeks and pick again, then wait 2 or 3 weeks, and that'll be it. So
hopefully we're here for long enough.
Well, I think we will be, because we can always, we bought tickets that can be extended, so we can always stay till the end of March, which wouldn't bother me a bit.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed, I was missing everybody, but I enjoyed a little bit of solitude also. There was a lot of nights I just sat on the porch with my blanket and it was cold. But, and I could video chat with Eli, and we played poker, online poker or whatever you call it, almost every day probably.
Probably.
Chess set, so we're going to do some chess set. But so far, I don't think you've left the farm since you've been here.
No.
They've got stuff going on today.
Well, it's a crazy day.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. I've driven so much. You can tell I've gotten quite a bit of sun.
You've not gotten enough sleep.
Yeah, I also hadn't had any sleep in the last 3 weeks.
Wait.
But
Good.
I slept 4 hours last night. That wasn't good. But been to Llano a couple times today. Pedro called and said there was a lot that was going to be thought was dry, and so I think there's 9 different lots out there. So we went out there, and sure enough, it was just like a point and a half. So I said, well, we'll sit here an hour. And it was 94 degrees there, and the wind was blowing. I had to move the testing equipment inside the truck. And of course, it's a big truck, so I could set it on the dash, and it's a big piece of equipment. I don't know if you can see it back there or not. You can see the box, but anyway, it's big. And so I said, we'll wait an hour and test it. But I was bored, and then all of a sudden Pedro shows up about 15 minutes later and has a sample for me to test. And I said, no, like an hour and a half, not a half an hour. And so he handed it. It was ready. It dried, that much.
94 degrees, that dried pretty fast.
Yeah, it dried. So then the rest of the day, it was just, we got there at like 9:30 this morning, and it was just testing coffee, raking coffee, and pulling coffee off. As soon as one hit 13%, we started pulling and bagging it up and getting in the truck, getting it under the shade, and another one's ready. And so I had to come back to haul the workers back. And so I brought the workers back and just drove straight back out the field. And by the time I got there was already one that was 11.7, which is 12.5 is where we want it to be. So it was a little bit drier than we wanted, but it was a small lot, so we'll make it Jamaican Me Crazy or something like that if it doesn't taste just great. The 2 cats are outside wanting to be fed. And so before we could get that one done, another one dried. And I was like, man, it is late. It was 6 o'clock, and I said, it's dark. Let's just, y'all wrap it up. I'm going to go home, and I'll come back in the morning. So they agreed to that.
Have they been fed today?
Yeah, they've been fed.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just insane.
Areas, at least.
I'm not sure. The dog doesn't like the cat, so. But so that's been the week we've had. Finally getting the guys here. Can't come online. Oh, the video is frozen. Yeah, we're out in the cupping lab, and I don't have my cat 5 or whatever you call it. And so I figured maybe it was frozen. And I'm looking here at the signal.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
barely
low.
got anything. But Julia's cleaning up in the house, so we decided to come out here. Tomorrow I'll get, I've got a 200-foot cat cable, and I'll bring it out tomorrow. So we'll just
Sometime we'll do a back porch video.
yeah, and we'll do some back porch, and I've got a short one in the house to do that, and I'll run the long one tomorrow. So tonight we'll just roll with the audio.
Yeah.
How you doing, Bill? Bill got a 5-pound roaster, and he's been knocking out some coffee, and so we're happy for him. I ran out of coffee, and so the night they brought me in samples, and so I roasted a bunch of little samples. But I tried some right out of the roaster and did not like it at all. So then I took it over to Anna and made her try it, and then she's going to try it again tomorrow, so she can see the difference in that 3 days of resting.
How'd it taste?
I made her drink it on Monday morning. I roasted it Sunday.
How'd the natural taste, Bill?
He'll probably wait. If he just roasted, he's probably going to wait.
30 minutes ago.
But yeah, everything's going okay. The my older son and I butted heads a little bit today, but that's par for the course. Sometimes he likes to change my stuff up sometimes, and I like having everything a certain way. So we're doing fine. We hadn't really butted heads. I think I got mad and threw something across the floor, but other than that, I didn't break anything. Everything was fine. So that's the way it is today. But the coffee picking's going fair. One of the bigger farmers that, for whatever reason, they pick for this guy whenever he gets ready. So they'll leave here and go pick for him. So we had about 30 people that didn't show up on Monday.
Well, that's perfect.
And so otherwise we would have been through picking today. But we went from picking like 6,000 and 7,000 pounds a day to picking 3,000 and 3,800 pounds a day. So we should finish the main farm tomorrow. And then Friday and Saturday, we'll finish the farm that's up the road a couple miles. And then for the next few days, I'll be back and forth to our little farm in Llano. It's not ours, we rent it. And getting the coffee dried the best we can. We got Pedro gave him a tester today, which is something that I was really hesitant to do, but they're a couple $100, and I bought him a rechargeable flashlight, and he destroyed that. So I'm a little nervous about that.
Okay, but if he does take care of it, then we'll know when it's ready.
There we go. Yeah. Versus him, he just bites it in his teeth, and he gets pretty close. So, and that's what I do too. That's why I got to get a bridge put in next week, because I broke my tooth.
What? I thought you just had to have something on it.
A cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a bridge. I just say cap. It pops off. But yeah, it pops off when they did
because he waited to come here because it's dense.
Well, they put a temporary one in, and then we got swamped, and I couldn't come back in November, and so it's been popping off. And I've been going to Walgreens, and there's a glue called Recap It, and I've been sticking it on every other day. But so hopefully next week when things get calm, I'll go to the dentist, and she'll.
Because you like coming to the dentist here.
Oh, I hate going to the dentist, but anyway,
but here.
Yeah. Here, I just like it because it's cheaper. Yeah. But and it's an okay dentist. I've had the same dentist here for 24 years. So there you go.
From coffee work to dentistry.
Yeah.
That's how the podcast goes.
And now she's been volunteering. She's come out and done a dental clinic for us. And so that
was a good clinic.
Mm-hmm. She'll do another one here in a month or so. And
we got a bunch of people through that day.
Yeah. They did like 200 people. It was crazy. Somebody made a comment. I tried to start out by telling where to watch us, but I think most of you guys know. If you're online, tell us who you are, and we'll give you a shout out. If you got a website or something, we'll give that a shout out. for the 3 to 3.5 people that are watching.
Yeah.
And we're getting good watching after the fact. But my first podcast I did here in Honduras, there was 19 people online, and a bunch of people watched the thing.
Or just like this trip?
No, there was 19 people that were like on while I did the podcast.
This trip.
Yeah, this trip.
The first time this trip, not the first time ever. There's zero people there.
No, they didn't even have podcasts back then, but they literally didn't. As of July of last year, I've been coming to Honduras for 25 years.
Wow.
And so, or June, I came June 1998, and I missed 1 year, I think, when my dad died. So yeah, I've been here pretty steady. And then of course we moved here in 2014. But anybody that wants to give a shout out or something, you're always welcome to do that. Somebody was asking about some of the kids, and I posted some cute kid photos. School lets out here so that the kids can come and pick. And I've talked and spoken to a lot of the parents, and they ask questions. I mean, if you got a nice hat, they'll say, how much did you pay for it? You got a car, they'll say, how much did that cost? Yeah, they sort of that society or that culture. And so I've asked the parents, when your kids are picking, do they get to keep the money, or do y'all split it? And most of them say they the biggest part of it, they just split. So the kids get about half. The biggest part of the time, they say that the kids get half, and they can do what they want with their half, but the other half goes to pay for school. Because here it's socialized, so you get to go to school, but you have to buy the books and extracurricular activities, all that stuff. Parents have to pay for. So it's a big expense, and it's a big deal to stay in school. Most people quit 5th or 6th grade. So we were going to answer a few questions about kids. I don't think we pay him anything other than crackers and whatever that is you're drinking. Banana smoothie, fresh banana smoothie from our farm. But it's a big thing, and there's some kids out there that are pretty young, and I've gotten beat up quite a bit about having little kids out in the farm. But I take
Not much you can do about it.
Well, no, I mean, we can't run them off. But as far as, I've really limited myself on how many of the pictures I put out there. For the most part, the kids aren't setting the world on fire picking. They're eating as much coffee as they pick. But they need to be out there. There is no daycare. So they have a blast out in the farm. I mean, they throw coffee at each other. They hide and seek, and they've got a place to run and play where they don't if they're at home. And they pick a little bit of coffee and they help the parents a little bit. And the older kids tend to the younger kids and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. And anybody, that does have a problem with it needs to come and come stay a week or two and learn what's going on here before you judge it too much. Oh, went way too dark on that coffee. It's harsh, but it is coffee. And Bill, I got my new cup. I got a cup and you don't. I'm going to send Bill a set of cups like this. They only had 3. She said she'd get a 4th one in. So when I do, I'm going to send a pair of them to Bill. And I just love the black.
You can send those other ones you got.
Well, but I'll show them. When I get back to the States, I'll show you. I think I either have 2 or 3.
Of the other
I gave 2 to Michael Scott.
Mm.
I gave a pair to Michael Scott, but I have 2 pair. One of them is black and the other one's gray, I think.
Like a whitish.
Mm. So I'll let you pick what pair you want. Or those new oval ones I got. I have to show you those. Those are slick.
Those are nice.
So we'll get Bill a set of coffee cups. And then Sunday we're going to the mall again. And that's my goal, is to get more coffee cups.
So you're addicted to coffee and coffee cups.
I like the little coffee cups. And as long as they're not more than $1.50.
What about that?
That one we got at the Alamo? It was like $19 for a coffee cup. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have bought it. Eli was like, go ahead and buy it.
You could have just forwarded that or something. But it did have a good saying.
Yeah. Oh, there was 2 questions. One of them was about the kids. The other one was about a guy was wanting, and I forget what the name is. And if you're watching, chime in. I sent him a post. he wanted to. He was asking about wholesale pricing. We can't do a lot on wholesale because we're limited to postage. I don't know. And Julia just said that they sent a notice where they're going up on postage again. But if you buy 100 pounds of coffee, it's going to be broken up into 2 or 3 boxes. And our goal is to keep it under $1.50 a pound on the shipping. And so that doesn't give us a lot of leadway. So if you bought 200 pounds of coffee, it's going to cost us exact same to ship it to you. So until you get to where you can buy about 450 pounds of coffee and we can put it on a pallet, and that has to be shipped to a commercial address. At that point, the cost per pound goes down by 2/3. It gets pretty cheap. It's 35 to 45 cents a pound, to ship it according to where it is, of course. Or as little as 3 bags. I don't like to do 10. I have done 10. We can do as much as 10 bags, but 8 is, I like 8. And I won't guarantee the 10. The 10, they just treat it rough and the 10 will fall over. And so 10 bags, I mean. So I love to do 8 bags. 9, I can stabilize pretty well. So it's according to how much you want. But we only have a few customers that get that big of an order. And like Bob that orders, we just deliver it to him.
I mean, he does like
He's only less than an hour away.
Yeah.
But Hoboken buys some coffee from us, and I deliver theirs just because I like to go up there and talk to him a little bit. And it's over in
Hoboken's
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
Yeah. And then we get to go to Oklahoma, and we go to Ted's, and I get free coffee at the coffee shop.
It's also
I love if you're ever in, what is that? It's Hoboken Coffee. You can look it up. It's near Oklahoma City. It's a fantastic little coffee shop. But those are the shipping thing is, it's always been a pain that we can't ship any cheaper than what we can. But we do the best we can, and we'll do what we can. Coffee. Bill and I think we both drove 3 or 4 hours, whatever it was. We just met somewhere in the middle. We went over about the flights. And that's about it. Last week went over Bahidio's little temper tantrum a little bit, but he's pretty much calmed down and he likes me again. So I made him mad the other day because he made me mad and I made him mad. And then he hid from me for 2 days. I couldn't find him. And so he was here, but I couldn't find him.
So everything's great.
Yeah. And then he won't answer the phone when I call. But for the last 2 days, he's been stuck in a truck with me. We've been hauling coffee. So I make him ride up front. He was driving me crazy today because I don't know if he's tired or what, but he's leaning forward and he won't wear his seatbelt. So every time I shift gears, he goes forward. When I take off, he goes back, and it's just crazy to watch him. He was driving me nuts.
Maybe that's why he kept doing it.
Maybe we were both tired. We were both tired, and I fell asleep a couple times
While you were driving.
While I was driving, yeah, man, that is dangerous. It's crazy.
You need more coffee.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you need more time in a day to make coffee.
Yeah. Nobody wants to learn how to make coffee because they're afraid I'm going to make them make me coffee all the time. So
you just haven't told me how to use the AeroPress.
Well, we'll get to it after this is over. Next week, we're going to watch Eli make me an AeroPress.
Why? I open my mouth.
We'll do it live on TV.
Not live.
I don't know. I think we're both a little loopy. He's jet lag and I'm sleep deprived and coffee deprived. So we're not staying on task very well. Not that we normally do that way.
Yeah, that's also true.
But this week in coffee, we picked quite a bit last week. I guess if we did about 36,000 pounds of coffee is how much it was in cherry. So if you divide that by 8.25, that's about how many pounds of roasted coffee that'll come from that. So you're looking at over a ton of roasted coffee.
How much is that then?
Huh?
Have you done the math about that?
I just did it in my head. It's a little more than a ton of coffee.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Roasted, yeah. I'm like a genius. I gave myself a test. It's a little joke we have. Okay. I am so sorry, people. We've got to go to bed.
You do.
But we're picking. There's for somebody that haven't heard me say, we have a farm rented. It's 8 miles from here. It takes me 42 minutes to drive to it, and so I went there 3 times today. 2 times I made full trips there today. One time I was out there for 3 hours and I'd run out of water 3 hours earlier, and I just had to. So I drove back. It was 20 minutes drive. It was 4 minutes. I made it in 4 miles. I made it in 20 minutes.
That is
Yeah, it was crazy. Bought 2 bottles of water, and I got to
technically Yano is how many miles away from us?
8.
And it takes us
42 minutes.
42 minutes to get there.
That's my record. Yeah. But once you get there, when I went, I had on a t-shirt and a flannel shirt.
Yeah, you do not want to do that.
And after I was there for 10 minutes, I was into my t-shirt. I don't have the abs yet to take my t-shirt off, but some of the guys that did. And so Miguel's like 150 pounds wet, but he has 0 body fat. He's got 8 little bumps on his 6-pack. I mean, he's just like skin and bone muscle. That's all he is. But these guys move coffee all the time. They were unloading 180, 190 pound bags of coffee.
I mean, they're just,
Yeah.
they just,
Yeah. My dad used to say, oh, when I was your age, I used to. Yeah, when I was that age, I never did anything like that. I never picked up 180 pound bags of coffee. Now, just on principle, I've moved some of these 150 ones. But they're dry and they're tight. Those 180 pound bags are just like floppy goo all over them. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Yeah, I couldn't pick them up if I had to.
yeah, and I don't know how well I can pick up a 150 pound bag.
Well, you picked up some hundreds though. That's the parchment coffee's 100.
Not
But
the easiest thing in the world, but
we're planning on picking coffee for about 3 more days. And then we'll be drying coffee for about 5 days after that. And then it's going to be a lot of projects we wanted to do. We're trying to build a vibrating sorting bed. So we're going to get on that. Tailgate keeps falling off the Dodge. We got it on with ratchet straps right now. We're going to fix that.
otherwise it'd be duct tape and zip ties.
Yeah, I've been through 3 full rows of Gorilla duct tape this week. So
That's how everything's hanging
yeah,
together.
I did a blue and 2 blacks. So we have a lot of duct tape. But I think we're looking forward to getting in bed and hopefully having a decent night's sleep tonight.
Yeah, well, check back in here in a couple days and hopefully he doesn't have hallucinations.
I hope not. We're going to do a podcast Saturday or Sunday, and we'd really like to have some people on. So, Bill, let me know what your schedule is and whoever else is watching tonight. Let me know what your schedules are and something you guys would like to talk about. Then we'll address it and we'll get on there and talk and we'll see how it goes. But for right now, I am heading to bed. I got to get up at 5, so I'm hoping to be asleep by 10. And I'm hoping that dog shuts up soon.
Do you want me to go do something about that?
What?
With the dog?
Oh, yeah, that's his dog, Leia. She just likes to howl sometimes. So,
Or bark, yeah.
yeah, barking and howling. That's what she does. Best guard dog in the world.
Even though she is blind.
Yep, she's gone blind. She still knows her way around the farm.
Yep.
She is awesome, man. Awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna make it short tonight. We got to go to bed, but either Saturday night or probably going to do a Saturday night, and then I'm going to do a podcast on Sunday from out in the farm. And so we'll see what the internet looks like. But we're literally in the farm. So, we're 10 feet from the coffee plants. So we're going to try to find a nice spot and do one right there in the midst of all the coffee flowers or coffee plants.
In a couple of days, apparently, I'm going to have to do an aerial press.
Yeah, Sunday he'll be doing an aerial press for me live. So if you've got a request or something, if you want him to do French press or you name it, he'll do it.
Apparently, okay.
There you go. All right, guys, thanks. And we see you guys soon. All right, thanks a lot and good night.